just some Sigma male type shit, and he just basically says "fuck you" and let me go nut in my girlfriend. But it's like, wait, why are you bringing the condoms? My bad. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, that's so you can, I guess, unless
it's not really like nutting in it. You're nutting in the little, the little reservoir. I hate that they call it that, the reservoir.
Well, I'm glad we're talking about condoms because we got Dennis a condom for his mic. His mic has been having some weird fucky issues that I haven't been able to solve.
I hope it sounds better, guys. I'm sorry.
I think I kind of already still hear it, so it might just be a pass-through filter thing. And if it does, it's like, I'll do my best to get rid of it. It's not the end of the world. But basically, I'll put it on screen. We took one of those fucking microphone condoms and just kind of shoved it onto his mic to make sure it doesn't get its juices everywhere and all those background noises inside of it. It's a microphone condom. It serves the same purpose. It stops things from getting out that aren't supposed to go out and stops things from getting in that are supposed to go in. It's the same thing. It's not like those Wii Remote condoms that they sold with the Wii, those little jackets that you put on the Wii Remote at some point. Those were also Wii Remote condoms, as I believe Fisher calls them. But yeah, so hopefully that helps here on the Double D Experience, where we talk about Double Ds. The other thing that I named this podcast after, despite there being many, many podcasts with similar names, but we'll get to that later.
We honestly thought we were original with that, but it turns out not really. We were probably the most unoriginal motherfuckers thing of that year, arguably.
I got so disappointed because I was talking to Dennis behind the scenes stuff about our SEO and whatnot, which for you non-businessy types like myself, that stands for search engine optimization. It's when you optimize your keywords so people can find your dog shit. And yeah, so we were trying to do that. And what happened is that when I go to Smash tournaments and stuff, I put DoubleDPod as my prefix. Like how people put their sponsors beforehand, just so if I'm on stream, people will see that, be like, oh, what's that? And type in DoubleDPod. Not knowing
that there's 50 million other individuals with the same fucking name.
I thought we were being so clever. Part of how I even pitched it to Dennis back in October of 2020, when we were sitting on that bench in Edgewater, I thought it was going to be so clever. Because the Double D Experience, for those of you that don't know, it's a play on our names, David and Dennis, duh. And it's named after our favorite thing in the world, titties. It's it's a double meaning. That's literally what it is. It's get it? Me and Dennis, we provide our unique dynamic, the Double D Experience. Get it? It's a sexual joke, getting the Double D Experience and titties in your face.
Yeah, but it's also one of those moments where if you keep trying to explain it, it's just you're just falling farther from actually getting your point across.
Pretty much, yeah. Our bio literally used to say our show strives to take David and Dennis, the fattest pair of Double Ds, and shove them right in your face every week. That used to be what it is, and I might get rid of that because it's a little too crass, but I don't know. But point is, we thought we were being so clever with that.
Nope.
And then when I looked up DoubleDPod to actually check out the search engine optimization, I was shocked. Shocked. Absolutely, hold on a second. I need to even find up synonyms for fucking shocked. Hang on a second. I was bamboozled.
Flabbergasted.
I was shocked, astonished, dumbfounded. Some would, dare I say, dumbstruck. To see how many frickin' podcasts are named after Double D. Granted, we are the only Double D Experience, I believe. So that's good, at least.
Okay.
The whole name, we have Double D Experience, that's fine. I've seen the Double D podcast. There's one called DDE.
Mm-hmm.
There's another one just called DoubleDPod.
That probably fucks up the SEO when you also put the hashtags on, because it's if anyone's trying to look for, let's say, a DDE podcast that's not us, then they're seeing our podcast along with at least the one that they're looking for, and more often than not, it's just kind of well, that was just for us, no one's really I guess gonna click on us out of curiosity, because the guy already is he found what he was looking for.
What helps us though, and I noticed that we do get a lot more views than most of those other shows, except for the one that stood for DDE, because that one is a big YouTube channel. They got 4 million subs. They're a Bugatti fancy sports car part channel and stuff like that. They say hey, we started a podcast, so they were already big. Here's this one: stream Double D Podcast. Double the trouble, double the banter, double the fun. No topic is off limits for this podcasting sister duo. We'll bring you fun, a bit of trouble, banter, and everything in between. Let's get into it. And the latest one is their 4th episode, I think, from a year ago. So I guess we're good on that front. But it's the same thing. They called themselves Double D Podcast because it's like two women, and I guess both their names start with D.
Do they have big boobas?
I don't know. Why does that matter? I'm dumb. I'm sorry.
Come on, dude. It's only Wednesday.
All right.
Get your head in the game, man.
I don't know why I took a moral high horse there. For no reason.
I was like, in my head, I was like, wait, why is he getting so defensive about this?
Wait, what the Okay, here's another one. The Double D Podcast. D&D met working at your neighborhood friendly grocer, and it was best buddies at first sight. They clicked almost instantly, and couldn't help but laugh and giggle at each other unconditionally. They are sadly separated by hundreds of miles on a state border, but are glad to be back giggling and chatting again while living their lives in Trump's America.
Okay.
Here's my problem with this one. Their names are Metal and Pluck.
The fuck?
At least that's what it seems. What are their names? Let me click at the description. Stay connected with D Streeter. D Streeter Designs. Their is This Is Double D. Okay. Is that their names? Because if so, I'm actually kind of upset. Granted, this is another podcast that has not uploaded an episode since 2019, but, you guys see what we're getting at here, right? This is one search. I have found 2 different podcasts that aren't ours, which, by the way, ours is the first one that comes up. Let's fucking go. Hey. On Apple Podcasts, unfortunately, though. I don't know why.
Which, everyone's just using. Everyone.
Oh, and then these guys. I forgot about these guys. These guys actually named theirs. Oh, look at this fancy-ass graphic. It says the Double D Pod. Let me see if I can show this to you. Hold on a second. Share screen. Under the sea. Under the sea. Can you see it?
Downward it's better. Downward. No, actually, no. This is actually pretty hype, guys.
Yeah, this one, though, I will say, in this episode, Darren and Derek discuss recent events of the submersible object sinking next to the Titanic.
Our nega clones? Is this like our...
It's the Double D experience! No, Dennis, unfortunately, this is not the sultry combination of white and Asian. This is just 2 white dudes. Very unfortunate. But their names both start with a D. And that's why I'm okay with this one being the Double D Podcast.
Everyone who probably, besides you, everyone who thought of, like, naming their podcast, like, Double D are just, like, dumber than you by default. Because, like,
Yeah.
they just thought they were so clever at what they thought of, and then not realizing that there was already a much more handsome man who had already thought of the idea.
Two handsome men.
2 handsome men who patented it, slapped it on a lunchbox, and just started selling it, and started selling it, and started selling it.
Once CDE gets big enough, I would absolutely maybe patent it, because there are no other Double D experiences. We actually did luck out in that regard.
Can you imagine us going to the patent office and just, like, slapping that on a trademark? And I'm just kind of like, I walk out of there with you, we have the paperwork on hand and everything, and then I'm just kind of like, wow, we really did that. Like, are we the Fine Brothers now? Is that what we're doing? Like,
I forgot when they tried to fucking patent reaction content. I forgot they tried to do that.
Do you remember that whole shit too? That was so... Going back into some YouTube history here, guys, because, Anthony's back in Smosh, like, let's fucking go. They already made his first video, like, the day after they announced that they were fucking back, back together. By the way, yes, Anthony and Ian are in a mutually exclusive couple. And they're actually very open about their relationship, and no one should judge them for the choices that obviously they've decided to make. They're beautiful together. And
like, you're talking literally, like...
No, bro, I'm fucking lying.
I don't know. Dude, I watched one of their old videos when Smosh wasn't around, and, like, it was Ian doing 2 truths and a lie with his fucking ex-girlfriend.
What?
His ex.
Or is it like, what, did it have a script? It was just kind of, or it was like more so
No, they literally each put up their phones and be like, I like crunchy peanut butter better than creamy. We once walked to the store and tripped over a dead animal, and I cheated on you during our relationship. And it was like 2 truths and a lie.
Oh, shit.
I was like watching this, I'm like, you could not give me enough money to sit with my fucking ex-girlfriend and do that shit. Mad respect. But, oh, God,
I mean,
yeah.
There's also, like, you know, I don't know, some people will swear, like, oh, no, like, I get along great with my ex. Like, we're totally cool. Like, there's no lingering feelings, like, at all. And I mean, if you are one of those people and if you truly do, like, feel that, then I guess just kudos to you. Maybe you're just more emotionally mature than I am. But, yeah, I'm kind of on the same, side as David, in that, especially in a setting like that where we're, like, recording a video together, mind you, where millions of people are going to be watching. Yeah, no. And it's not even like, oh, because, like, there's, like, some feelings of hatred towards or anything.
Yeah.
But it's more so just kind of like, if I had the choice, because for one, if I am Anthony, I have that choice of whether or not I want to do this, period. And if I choose not to do it, then I'm just going to choose not to do it.
Yeah, and it's like, yeah.
Again, like, if anyone could deal with that, I guess, like.
It just gave me PTSD, because, like, the woman looked like a very tall version of my ex. Like, in banter and, like, eyeglasses and, like, hairstyle and everything. And I'm just like, yo, that is crazy. Dennis, I'm not even done here. Here's the Double D podcast.
Double D what?
Double D Do. Double D Do.
Do? Like DOUGH? Like,
no, like just DO.
DO?
Double D Do.
Double Howdly
this
doodly.
One, howdly diddly doodly diddly daddly. This one, RLC Global founders, husband and wife team Dave Evans and Debbie Halls. Okay, so double D's, I appreciate that. The real side of business with insights, discussions, questions, and most importantly, how to do real business. Guys, I shit you not. There's like fucking 15, if not 20 other Double D podcasts. And I guess it makes sense, but I thought for sure our show being named after our names and after titties and being the ratchet-ass show that you and I aspire it to be makes sense. That one's a business podcast and it has Double D in the name. When I think of Double D, I think of titties, right?
But the thing is that we don't even have titties, like, on our logo. And I honestly feel there's
that
probably...
I would not do.
Exactly, that's what I mean. Like, we just can't do that. And, like, I think, in a way, maybe, like, I'm not saying we gotta rebrand or whatever, but it's just like, no one's gonna know that we're about titties unless someone asks. Like, no one's really gonna know.
Well, like... Yeah, like, that's true. I usually find a way to slip it in, and most people laugh.
Yeah, like, ours looks like as if it's an 80s talk show. Like, as if we're fucking, like, Letterman or somebody, like, just talking to people. Like, that's kind of, like, at least the vibe that I got with, like, the whole New Jersey diner sort of aesthetic.
Yeah,
or
that
like,
actually is what me and Dennis aimed for. If there was one other thing I could change about the logo, I would want to have it be, like, raining and, like, thundering in front of, like, the logo, like, on a brick wall. If that makes any sense. You know what I mean? When, like, you go to, like, a diner and it's, like, raining and storming and you see, like, the neon light just flashing through the rain. You know what? Yeah, you see what I mean. Because we're also two Jersey boys.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. But, if this will help you guys out a little bit, I guess I'll get into this story. I'll segue this one. We'll actually make this one about titties. Because that is what sort of flipped me off today. Or tipped me off today. Because I went to a job fair this morning, Dennis. Not too many jobs that I wanted, maybe some good future opportunities. Met a woman who tried to work for Nintendo, and I know some contacts there, so I could help her out.
I have a question. What would you have done if this woman knew about you and your podcast?
First of all, I'd be like, how the fuck? Second of all, because first of all, even if you listen to it, we don't use webcams. So how did you know? Well, I mean, I guess our faces are the same, but like on the logos. But still,
or like
it's
imagine
not that...
she knows you off the voice alone. That would be scary. Like,
yeah,
because
that would be a little
like seeing my face is like, okay, you recognize me because you know what I look like. That's one thing, and I wouldn't really be surprised by that. But if you knew me right off of my voice and just immediately knew that was me, like that you had listened to like 2 hours ago, that would scare the shit out of me, honestly. Like,
yeah, especially with like how creepy people are trying to use voices and shit for that. Like, you and I could be in porn right now for all we know.
Probably
like, they could have used my voice like in voiceover to just
probably fucking Pokimane right now.
Yep.
In a porn video, and you know I would be like, that's pretty cool, and then just move on with my life.
You would be completely fine with your face being in
Oh,
porn.
with my face? No. I'm speaking just voice alone.
Okay.
Like,
okay. Well, I guess
face
that's
would be like, okay, like then God forbid, right? I mean, my girlfriend like would know better, but she would also just be like, "What the fuck?" Like on my behalf because
That's
it's like
what
she
I'm
found
saying.
out. Yeah.
And it's the same thing that happened to the Twitch streamers. I mean, that's fucking terrible. But yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. Go.
basically-
Sorry about interrupting your story. Go.
Yeah, met a lady who tried to work at Nintendo once. She called me funny, and I'm like, all right, cool. Here's my card, and like, just call me if you want the contacts for Nintendo or whatever.
Give you this mushroom
It's
cock.
simple little job fair. Relax, just
No.
relax.
No.
Simmer down.
Never.
Simmer down.
Never.
Dennis. Well, here's the thing. I couldn't relax either because when I left, I'm walking back to my car
Yeah.
because this was an outdoor job fair, right?
Okay.
And
They had like tents and shit out there.
no, they just had like.
Oh,
the
I was
kiosks
gonna
and
say like it
stuff.
was 90 degrees today. You guys are
No.
insane.
Just like the tarps and the
Yeah,
kiosks
okay.
and stuff. So I'm walking back to my car, and I'm just sitting in my car, like putting my stuff down or whatever. And to my right, across the street, I see the bustiest Latina woman. The
Okay.
bustiest Latina. And she's just walking down, right?
Yeah.
And it was already distracting enough for me.
Okay.
Because, like, I'm trying to sound as less misogynistic as possible, but those things were fucking heavy. Like, you could just tell. And so
Pair
she's
of heavies.
straight up. Like the crop top as well, where, like, it shows the midriff on top of that. Like, the summer outfits, like, oh, fuck me, dude. That shit's
It's also
better than
90
the sun.
degrees, so I do not blame.
I'm just saying that shit's better than the sundresses. Just about. And, and then I notice she walks into the house, like, completely adjacent to where my car is parked.
Okay.
And here's the thing. I've been a lot better with women recently because I don't try hard, you know? I got a Milf's number at the gym the other day, and I wasn't even trying. Like, she was just smiling at me. We walked out of the gym together. We got to talking, and I was just not being too pushy or too forward, just letting it rock as it was, feeling the vibes, got her number, whatever. And, but this woman made me feel like my old self. The shy one. The one who puts too much pressure, like, and immediately sees women sexually and, like, has a hard time making it not about that when you talk to them.
Yeah,
not in how we talk, but you know what's going on in your head. Like, the harder a
Because
man
even
tries,
she
the harder
knows
it's
it's
gonna
like, you see what I have. Like, it's not, like, we're not really playing, like, 20 questions here.
Like, the
It's
young, awkward teenager comes out, basically,
yeah.
right? When I saw this woman go into her house. When I see a woman, it was like that woman that I saw in that job interview a couple years ago. You remember the one, that janitor? The one that, like, stunted me?
Yeah.
It was basically the same feeling.
She might be cousins with her.
Nah,
She might know her.
No, that janitor was way hotter. Like, that woman was legitimately
Oh,
probably the
damn,
sexiest
really?
woman I've ever. Yeah, that woman was like the
Compared
sexiest
to
woman I've
this
ever
one
seen
you
in my life.
just, like, saw going into her
That
house?
woman was way too hot to be a fucking janitor. Like, that is all I'll tell you what.
Okay,
the kind of woman where, like, if a guy, like, walks up and, like, does that horrid-ass pickup line, like, have you ever tried modeling? You're so beautiful. You should be a model. You know, when they do that, but, like, genuinely mean it. Because that woman was, like, horny-ass dudes who don't have clever pickup lines or, like, just don't know how to make normal conversation with a woman beforehand.
It's like, no one should ever say that, period.
Yeah. But here's the thing. I like to just go with the vibes as they may and just be natural about it. If you don't try so hard, it becomes way easier and, like, you just feel out the natural vibes with a woman, and if she's into it, that's great, and if she's not, she's not. Sometimes in my stupid autistic brain, when a woman is so fucking hot, I tell myself, like, I can't leave. I have to at least, like, talk to her for a minute
turns
just to
into
feel
mush, yeah,
just to feel it out. Something, I don't know what it is about specifically just busty Latin women that flip a fucking switch in my brain, but, like, it, like, turns me into a different person. Full stop. Probably because I lost my virginity to one. But, you know, that's a whole different story. But, yeah. So basically, this woman goes into her house. I'm assuming it's her house. Because I'm just, like, sitting across the way. And instead of just driving off and, like, going home or whatever, like, just taking advantage of the rest of the day, I tried to, like, hype myself up. I wanted to go knock on her door and make up some bullshit how I'm in the neighborhood, like, just trying to do some viral marketing about my podcast. And then just literally give her my card. Because, like, I was at a networking event. I was giving my card around
yeah.
and stuff. So that's what I was gonna do.
Slowly becoming like a door-to-door salesman, like
again, yeah, which I've done before, and like I had a similar feeling. I can't even lie when I'm feeling shy enough to even just go talk to somebody to try to sell them something, because I'm basically, instead of a product, I'm selling myself. You know what I mean? So basically, I just wound up. I'm trying to not be creepy. I don't want to sit outside this woman.
Because you are knocking on someone's door.
Yeah,
so,
exactly. Like, this is a little extra. You know what I mean? Like, to do something like that. But I told myself, eventually hyping myself up, All right, David, let's do something that scares us today. Let's do
She
that.
might mace you too.
Straight up, yeah. So I walk up to her house, right? I'm hovering my finger above the doorbell, right? Just ready to just psych myself up.
Yeah, just press
Just slap myself real quick, just press it. And I actually didn't do it. Not even because I was nervous. I didn't even feel super nervous. I look to my right, and there's this bug. This giant, red, spotted bug.
It's a ladybug?
No. I wish it was a ladybug. No, I said giant. Like, not a ladybug. It was huge. This giant horsefly-looking thing with big red wings. And I'm like, ooh, okay, I'll leave that alone. And so, like, I just looked down, like, getting ready to adjust myself again, ready to knock up the doorbell.
Mm-hmm.
And then I noticed another one of those bugs. And then another one. And then another one. And all of a sudden, there were quite a lot of those big red bugs on this woman's doorstep. And that alone kind of stopped me from knocking for a while. I didn't want them to go into her house. Like, those things were freaking huge. So eventually, go ahead.
I don't believe you.
Dude, full stop. I should have taken a picture of one, but I didn't.
Not about the bugs. I don't believe you in that, like, oh, it was the... It was that I didn't want the bugs to go into her house that you stopped
No.
If I was you, the bugs alone would have just told me it's a sign from the universe. Fuck it. Okay, I guess we're not doing this. And I just go back to my car like a gentleman and just leave.
No. I pussied out. There were
like, bugs involved.
Stop.
That's
no,
like
not even
different.
just the bug. Here's the thing. It was one of those moments where, like, I'm not like, oh god, oh she's so hot, she's so pretty. What do I do? Like, I wasn't like shaking nervous or anything, but it was like my common sense was being like, David, this is a little extra.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Like,
she might call the cops on you. She probably saw you through the window and, like, I don't know, had them bugs.
No,
like
all her blinds were shut, and that's what made me feel like kind of like as well. Like all the blinds were shut. And, like, the house had all those bugs, and it felt, like, weird, right? So, eventually, I psych myself down. I go back down to my car. It was also hot as balls outside, so I wanted to sit in my air conditioner again a little bit. It was, like, 88, really, but, you know, who's counting? And eventually, when there were people around, I just felt awkward about it, too. And then while I'm sitting in my car just reading the pamphlets I got at the...
Lord.
I'm still sitting in my car just reading the pamphlets I got from the job fair that I was at. And eventually, I notice another guy. He's a dude. A Latin dude. Walking up the street. I'm like, what is this character doing? I'm like, oh, you're about to turn left into that house, aren't you? And then he did. And, like, was walking up the steps. And I'm like, okay. Good call.
Whoa, boy.
Good call. She had a man. But it was weird, though, because he just stood on the porch for a super long time as well. He didn't unlock the door.
Might be dick
He
appointment.
didn't ring the doorbell. He eventually was just standing there texting somebody forever and stood outside this woman's porch longer than I was. So
hot as
now
fuck,
at this
by the
point,
way.
Hot as fuck, by the way, and he's got like gear on him and stuff. So now I'm just sitting here. Now I'm intrigued. Like,
I want to see how this
who
plays
is this
out.
guy? And eventually the door just opens. The woman was nowhere to be seen, and he walks inside. And I just left to carry
what an
about my day.
anticlimactic fucking ending.
Honestly, I told myself, I feel better psyching myself out here.
I thought you were about to say, like, oh yeah, she opened the door. They, like, smushed faces together, just ate each other's lips, and just, like, then just threw themselves at each other and just went inside and did God knows what sinful shit inside the house.
Hot summer day, you're sweaty, you're just sitting alone with your woman.
Can I also just say something, though? And this is also true to an extent if you live in a house that is not air conditioned. I don't want to fuck if I'm sweaty as shit already. I just don't even want to be touched, like, period. And I think it goes the same way for even the girl as well. It's like, why would you want to fuck when your body heat is like 99 degrees, when, like, sweat's already, like, coming out of you?
Some people get more turned on.
That's fair, but it's
when they're like that.
But like how sometimes when you're so fucking sweaty and you just, like, touch your, like, anywhere on your body and you just feel like the stickiness right off of, like, just lifting your hand up. It makes me just not want to do anything. Like, I want to take, like, a cold shower immediately. And best time to fuck seasonally is the winter, my opinion. I don't know what it is when This sounds so corny, I know, but it's just like fucking when it's like snowing outside. It's like, I don't know, the coziness almost just adds to it in a way. And like, maybe it's also just because, like, again, I have a bias towards the winter in general. So maybe that's just, again, my bias talking. But I think personally for me, like, I know summer is the season of fucking, like, but it's like,
But
I don't know.
why?
But it's the thing, because I think media just kind of fed it to us like that.
Well, here's the thing: is people get hornier because they're all wearing less clothes.
Yeah, exactly. And they
Like
just
I said,
see
this
like
woman was walking around with this tight ass like crop top like sweater that really one of those like sweater pushers. You know what I mean? Like she just had like such like fat tits that like you could just see them bouncing around as she walks. And then with the crop top and midriff, people are hot in the summer. It's like, it's interesting. Like, people get hornier because they're wearing less clothes, but at the end of the day, it's like a less optimal time to fuck.
Yeah, because for one, if you think that she's also not sweating her fucking balls off, trust me, like, it don't matter.
You're gonna lift those things up, and like that shit's gonna turn into fucking Niagara, bro.
Do you also,
like the sweat that's gonna...
Yeah, exactly. Like, the under titty sweat.
Yeah.
Is just gonna be so real. And I honestly feel like, and again, this is just me being ignorant. Again, I'm just labeling as that. The bigger the titties, the more sweat there is. I think it just is logically
and I'm fine
sound.
with that. I'm completely fine with that.
But it's just like, yeah, from a distance, right? It's like, this is what, that happens to me all the time too. Where it's like, you know, it's like, okay, yeah, like I imagine it's like, yeah, like, in the case of your, like, let's say there's a woman that you saw before, right? It's like, yeah, like she looks so hot and everything, right? I just want to put myself in her shoes, and probably she's thinking, it's so fucking hot. Like, all she's thinking is that, like, it's so fucking hot, like, right now today.
Bro.
And, like, she's sweating fucking everywhere. And, like, unless you're one of those, like, laboratory experiments that just, like, do not sweat, like, at all. Like, you know, I guess hooray for you, but, you know, you're probably going to get a heat stroke one day and you're not even going to know it. But, like, if you are just one of those people that just don't sweat. But in her case, it's just, like, she has, like, at least on the front, there's just a lot of fucking area that just sweats, I'm sure. Like, especially for your pits, like, in general. For everybody. We all sweat there. Like, unless you're me, because I just don't, apparently I don't sweat there too much. But, like, everywhere else I sweat. Like, from my fucking forehead down, like, I just sweat everywhere. And, like, yeah, like, okay, from your perspective, it's like, yeah, she looks so hot. But I always just find it so funny that, like, if you put yourself in her shoes, she's probably thinking, I cannot wait to take this shit off because it's so fucking hot. Like, it is so hot that all I am thinking about is the heat.
Yeah.
I can't even finish a thought in my head. That's how so fucking hot it is.
Well, I will say summer is considered the season of sex for that reason. I mean, I'm grateful that, you know, I don't have gigantic tits because I already have a bad back and that would make them worse. If I'm being completely honest.
Christ, yeah. You can't even like throw your ass back either. Like...
Yeah, if I was, oh my god, I would be the unsexiest woman. I would be the least sexy woman.
You'd be the grouchiest fucking person in bed. Period.
Probably.
Like, it's like, no, not like that. Ow, my back. Like, it just completely kills the mood.
Ow, ow. When's it gonna be my turn? Ow.
But it's like, even when it's your turn, you're still in pain. You can't even enjoy it, like, because your back is so fucking, is like just fucked.
That's another reason I'm grateful that I'm not gay. Because it would hurt to
or
take
in
back
prison.
shots. It would hurt to take back shots to my tailbone. I'll say that straight up.
Oh.
Yeah. But not to objectify this woman too much. She was hot as fuck. I have a sexuality. I'm going to express that, you know what I mean? But I am not married to this woman. I'm assuming that other dude was. And Dennis has a little bit more of a taste of what that life could possibly be like. You know what I mean? And I can relate to that as someone who's just, you know, experienced that love before, like in hotel rooms or when, you know, her parents are out or whatever. And you just got like it to just be so fucking free. And that is the kind of thing that lets me know, fucking A, right? I definitely want to be married one day. Because statistically, married people have way more sex. Don't listen to those fucking people who like be like, yeah, I want to be young and I'm swinging in clubs and shit like that. When there's someone you can fuck whenever you want. Shocker, you're gonna have more sex statistically, as what I imagine. But Dennis has been in a committed relationship way longer than I have. So What was that like, Dennis? Just being able to, like, spend that time with her, just alone while they're gone and shit like that. Because if I had a woman that matched my horny ass energy, you know for a fact that the clothes are never coming back on. I'll tell you that much. It's, first of all, it's just too liberating.
Oh no, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Like I guess starting off, like, cause provide some context. There was about the last 2 weeks that I wasn't actually at home today where I am now, but I was actually at my girlfriend's family's house. And they had just gone...
Minus the family.
Yeah, minus the family. But still the cat was there too. So at the very least, like, still had a pet to take care of. But yeah, they had gone for vacation and I was basically helping my girlfriend house sit for them. And during those 2 weeks, we basically played house for about, like, 2 weeks and just... We got, like, some insight kind of like how it would be like when the day comes that we live together. And for one of the things that we kind of realized was that we have very specific habits, and like I think all of them, at least for the both of us, were on full display. Like one of the things that she noticed that I did was that when I'm like in the kitchen and I'm like kind of just cooking and like just moving a lot of stuff around and like taking stuff out of the drawers and stuff, I don't put stuff back. And it annoys me, I think, more than it annoys her, because like I know I want to be better with that. And at least during those 2 weeks I was trying to be way more like, at least just reminding myself like, okay, like, you know, just as soon as you're done, put it fucking back. And I got a little better by the end of the 2 weeks, but it's still like, I still like kind of left the stray like napkin lying around or paper towels like still there, or like I didn't put the coffee machine away. There's always just like little fucking things. And on top of that, we had her cat to take care of, and my girlfriend goes into the city to work on a couple days. So it was literally just me and Tony. That's what the cat's name was.
Hey.
And, hey, Tony. And during those 2 weeks, I fed the guy, and, you know, obviously with cats, it's like they got the litter box so they could just take a shit in there, and, like, you know, I don't really, like, I did have to clean it, obviously, but it's just, like, I don't have to, like, take him outside and curb his shit. There was even plenty of times when, like, I just kind of, like, opened the backyard window and just let the fucker out, and, like, he just kind of, like, lounged around in the sun and just kind of, like, you know, just chilled out there. There was even a time when, like, I opened the backyard door and just kind of like walked outside, just kind of looking for him, because like, he just chills out in the backyard. So I always kind of get worried too that like he didn't just run off somewhere, because the fence that they have is not like completely enclosed. There's a bit of a gap between each like kind of segment that like he could just walk through and just kind of like walk off like into the street or whatever.
Right.
So like I always just kind of every now and then checked, and there was this one day that like I kind of poked my head, because like going around the corner of the house, and just poked my head and was kind of like, hey, Tony, you there? And like he does respond, so he's like, you know, meow and shit, right? So like I walked a bit closer, and like I didn't realize this, because like I thought that at least for cats, like their shit wasn't like huge. Like I didn't think it would be like the same level of like dog shit, but he literally just took a shit like in the backyard, like on the grass and everything. It was just like great fertilizer, I suppose. But it's just like I like looked at it into the grass, and sorry if like, you know, this is like a little TMI for you guys, but it's like I have never seen cat shit like in full view ever. And I was shocked at how fucking huge it was, because it's like Tony is not like that big of a cat either. He's fairly old, mind you, but he does eat a lot. Why. Yeah, but he does eat a lot. So I was just like, I didn't think like, you know, cats were able to fucking shit this big, but no, they do. And
sounds like he's got the same metabolism as me. Like I was gonna say, like you say, he's not a very big cat, and you could be surprised that like a big cat, not a big cat taking big shits. Now we know why he's not a big cat.
Probably, yeah.
Takes big shits. There you
just
go.
Loses 10 pounds every time he takes a shit.
I didn't know cats shat at all.
No, they shit.
Like I've actually never seen cat poop, ever. I never had a cat growing up. I'm a dog family. I'm a dog person, and my ex-girlfriend had 4.
Yeah,
she had 4 cats, and I somehow never saw cat poop. I saw a lot of cat vomit. I saw that on a pretty regular basis, but never cat poop. Tony. Must have slipped.
He's an old man, Tony.
Tony must have fucking slipped into the little kitty gabagool.
Just had a little bad day with it.
The gaba catnip.
But I guess going back to like those 2 weeks, and I literally I didn't bring my stuff with me to record, so I literally would drive all the way back home to Richfield to record our episodes for those last 2 weeks, and then just go back to my girlfriend right afterwards. And like, it was funny because my family was just like, it almost felt as if I had moved out, and like whenever I did come by, it was just kind of like, oh, like, you know, it's great to be back and stuff. But it's just like I literally, food? Yeah, like, I was literally like gone only for like a week, and then I come back, and then I leave again, and then come back again after the week's over because I have to record. And there was the thing was though is that the weather itself, at least for those 2 weeks, was just so bad that most of the time I was inside. Like I wasn't like out at all. And I actually even saw 4th of July from her neighborhood, and like she has a Burger King like right outside her house. It's actually really funny because like her house is 1 block away from Route 46, and like there is like just the, what do you call it? The, like you see the highway like right after like the Burger King, and it's just kind of like, oh, like I just felt some days where I just felt hungry and was like, I want Burger King. And I just told myself, if I had a Wendy's right in front of my house, I'd get fat as fuck. Like, it would be over for me if I just had something that convenient, like right across from my fucking street.
Yeah, don't make her regret living with you that fast, bro. Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
How did this time make you feel on the inside? Did it make you fall in love with her even more?
Yeah, it did.
Like just being that close with her all the time. Like, did it remind you of the simple things in life?
It didn't really change much at the same time either, on top of what you just said, because like I think if this had happened about maybe a year in, it would be kind of like treading new territory in a way. But in the case of like I guess last week, it didn't really like I didn't really feel all that different. Like, cause at least for me, like, you know, I like to at least, you know, wherever I'm living, whether it be with my parents right now or when me and my girlfriend live together, it's like, of course I'd want to be like on top of things and like at least just keep the house clean, because I hate a dirty house so fucking much. Anytime I've gone to someone's house and like I've seen it like just a lot of clutter, or like it's just so dirty, and like, or like just having clothes, like, you know, you've ever seen like those hoarders, like Google images of like what a hoarder's house looks like and shit?
Yeah.
I would just nope the fuck out immediately. Like, it would just make me go, yeah, I'm leaving and I'm probably never gonna come back. And
no, I need that newspaper.
Yeah, I need it.
It was the newspaper 3 days before 9/11.
I need this plastic fork that I bought with my Chipotle, because it reminds me of my dead uncle and, you know, the like love I have for him, because I remember he gave me a plastic fork, so therefore I can't throw it out. I'm not even, and it's
and
like
also Chipotle.
It's not even like, okay, like I'm not even talking about hoarders specifically, but just like, if you have a dirty house, clean up your fucking house, please. Just clean it the fuck up, please. And also, if you have a dirty car, clean up your fucking car. Holy shit.
Yeah, ladies don't like it when you have a dirty car. Like,
I don't like it if you have a dirty car.
No,
fuck
Dennis
the ladies, I don't even like it.
Dennis does not like it if you have a dirty car, man. Dennis has been with he's been with his girl for a very long time. I couldn't talk to the one that was at that place today because it was weird coming up to their house. I am not Mike Wazowski. I couldn't do it. And he was at least clean. His shit was alphabetized. You know, like he has so much spray shit that he sprayed it in his eye.
He's a hard worker
that one time.
at the company he works at.
He is a hard worker at the company. This actually question came up on my mind one day when I was watching Monsters Inc. But I think recently? I already know the answer. Yeah, I was gonna say, which one of us is Mike and which one of us is Sully? I am absolutely Mike and you are Sully. Unequivocally. And do you want to know why?
Why?
Because I'm the guy that handles like all the technical aspects and stuff that Sully doesn't know how to do. But you're the one that when you get on here, like you do a lot of like the talking.
I'm the front end guy. You're the back end guy.
In a sense, I mean, I guess so. I mean, we're both front end guys. It's a podcast, but like you're not wrong. Like you go on tangents for things for like super long times. Like we'll both do, but you more often than not have some shit to say about something than not. Like if we had a random topic generator, like if it stopped on a wheel and it's a topic that neither of us really know anything about, I'd be like, I can't say anything on that. I can't speak on it. You would find something to say and you would talk for way longer than you would give yourself credit for. That's why I like listening to you talk. Yeah, that's why I like listening to you talk about your fucking what it was like, you know, like getting like the marriage simulator, basically, because I want that. I wanted to know how that made you and Jen feel inside, like getting to see her every day, just fucking waking up with her, like having the first thing you see being her eyes, like while you're holding her and shit.
In terms of that part, waking up together, I always was the one that had to wake up supremely early because I started at 8.
Yeah.
And funny enough, like when during those 2 weeks, like you know how I told you from Monday through Thursday, like I would go to the gym like really early in the morning, and she has a Planet like literally 5 minutes away from her house, but the whole time I was there, it was like after I think from the 2 weeks that I was there, the first Thursday I went to the gym, right? And then after that, I just stopped going. I just like woke up at like 7:30, and bro, the extra hour of sleep was so fucking good, and
it makes a difference.
It made me feel so fucking lazy that like as soon as I came back home, I immediately just went to the gym again and like just got back into my my old habit. But I guess like my old swing of things. But like every time I woke up, she would still be sleeping, and I don't want to wake her up. And there was so many times when like I just kind of wanted to like just like kind of pat her head and everything, and just like. You know, it's also weird, like, if you just stare at someone when they're sleeping. So, like, I didn't want to be that guy, so I just, like, would give her, like, a quick look. And just, like, walk out and just do my thing and just go upstairs.
What do you mean? That's romantic.
No, it is romantic, but it's just, like, just taken out of context. From a third person's perspective.
But we have the context.
I know, but it's just, like, you're just staring at them. Like, just take out the context, right? Just imagine. You're just staring at someone. As they're sleeping.
Yeah, through their bedroom window, and that's different, that's weird, but like, it's your girlfriend, you're watching her sleep, thinking about what's going on in that little head of hers, and shit, that's sweet.
No, it is sweet. I'm just saying, like, they
obviously, it's
content.
like, she wakes up, it's like, who the fuck are you?
Yeah, it's just like,
how did you get in here?
It would be creepy.
I don't know why I made Jen Scottish.
Well, as soon as they wake up, and she's just like, who the fuck are you? Because she's, like, so dazed and confused, like, because, like, I woke her. You know, some people also
I was about to say, why did I fucking make Jen Scottish? Maybe she was dreaming that she was like a Scotswoman or like, some shit.
You're not wrong on that, because it's like people have like this weird sixth sense where like they know that someone's looking at them even when they're sleeping, and then when they wake up, they're just kind of like they're still surprised, but like subconsciously they knew that like I'm being looked at. You know, like it's just that weird feeling. Like sometimes like people say where like. I know I'm being looked at. And I'm not even saying like, oh, if you're a hot girl and you're being looked at. I mean, that's fucking obvious. But it's just like, when you're sleeping too, like, it's just like you have this, you feel that little presence, and it just makes this little thing in your brain go like, someone's looking at me. And
no, dude, that's just the Hat Man. That's just the Hat Man. He shows up when I go to sleep every night. Because I have bad sleep problems, so I take 6 Benadryl before I go to sleep.
Sleep paralysis demon?
No, he's my friend. He's the Hat Man. He's my friend. I have some bad sleep issues, so I take 6 Benadryl before going to sleep every single night, right?
You should be dead if you're taking 6 Benadryl.
I'm not. Ever since I started doing that, I've made very good friends with my friend the Hat Man, and he shows up in my sleep and says hello.
Guys, I'm pretty sure you'll need to call an EMT for David, like immediately. I think he's OD'd, and it's very, very concerning. I might need a new co-host.
Start like foaming at the mouth and everything.
It's like when they zoom out of you and you just see you being like a drooling, like.
Well, I guess in vein of what Dennis is saying, this actually segues as well. I want what Dennis has. Not Dennis's girl. I'm not just making
but the
that
thing itself.
Making that abundantly fucking clear right now to all you freakazoids at home who's like, best friend drama. Like, no, shut up.
Do not craveth thy wife.
Thou shalt not covet thy...
Oh, covet. Why did I say craveth? I'm such a fucking, like vulgar
It
bastard.
means the same thing, though.
But
I mean...
crave is just got, like, that more, like, kind of context to it.
Crave is kind of an unga-bunga word. I agree.
Like, it's just so much more, like, primal.
Yeah, it's like, I crave her.
It's like, whoa.
Coming on a little strong there, Tiger.
It's like just say covet. Covet is so much better.
I want the love that Dennis has. And I'm at a time in my life where I think mentally I am ready for it. Probably still shouldn't because I still don't have a job. It's part of the reason it didn't really, among other reasons why it didn't work out with like we literally met at a job fair. Like we were both unemployed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like kind of not the best time to fucking...
You'd even think like circumstances, like just circumstances alone, like, say, hey, we're on the same picture. Let's just figure this shit out.
It did for a bit. She's a real sweet woman, and I hope she's real happy in her new job right now. I should hit her up, actually. It's been a minute just to say hi and shit. I haven't talked to her in a while. Because we only went on like 4 dates. It's not like, I can't see her anymore.
Yeah,
it's too hard. Like, we were never that attached to each other, It's like we're adults. We kept it casual. But it was so nice having that romantic validity come from a woman my age. You know what I mean? Because I used to brag about this when I was a younger man and when I was an idiot. But I'll give y'all an Nintoonist fun fact that I've dropped on this show before. I have never had sex with a woman below the age of 30.
So far.
So far, yes, so far. And I can't wait for somebody to clip that out of context. It's like just the first part of that sentence. I have never had sex before. Like just, I have never had sex. Just clip it.
It's like a 2-second clip of like, I've never had sex.
Just fucking put it on Twitter like, breaking news! Local Smash commentator Nintoonist is a virgin. And then I get like grilled on it and shit. Be like, all right, Nintoonist, we need you to prove that you're not a virgin. And what does a vagina feel like? And then I'm just like, they put the mic in my face, right? And I'm like, yeah, a vagina feels... incredible. It's
I was even thinking
so
like
cold.
You would
it's so
try,
cold. It's like a air conditioner on your dick.
You would try to like defend yourself so hard, but it's just like it just does not matter because
then the more you do, yeah,
exactly. The more you defend yourself, the more everyone just kind of like throws it at your face, and it's just like, oh, bro, that's what a virgin would say, man.
It's like the same thing as trying too hard to pick up a woman. It's like just feel out the vibes, man. And if she's into it, she is, and if she's not, she's not.
Yeah, the moment you just kind of like double down, or like at the very least, I don't know. Like I guess like
it comes off as desperation.
It's like, sounds like a virgin to me.
I can't wait till that happens. Be like, yeah, dude, I love vagina. It's ice. Feels like an ice cold on your dick. It feels so good. It's like an air conditioner on your cock, bro. And then like just proves it, man. Like just like when you're like interviewing somebody who says they're not a virgin and they are a virgin. And they talk about how good vagina feels, but they don't know what it feels like because they've never fucked. So they're like, yeah, it's so cool. It's ice cold on your cock. Which is another reason why having sex in winter is super optimal. Like, when it's that warm and wet and melty on your dick, it's like, that warms you up in the wintertime nice and good. But anyway, yes. Point is, I want what Dennis has in that way, and I feel like I'm ready for it in the mental way. Because it's been like 3.5 years since me and my last girl split, and I've dated a bunch of women since then and shit, but like, now I'm like way, way past all the demons and whatnot, and like I mentioned earlier, I used to brag about this as a younger man when I was dumb and like full of hubris and couldn't control my ego, and claimed to be humble, but I wasn't, I guess, and that was what I was bragging about before, that I've had sex with like pretty much just older women and shit. Now I look at that, and this is my explanation to you, Dennis, of that woman I met at the gym. It feels like a been there, done that for me.
Mm-hmm.
You know? I could do that. I could take her to a fancy Italian restaurant, because we talked about Italian food. Her husband was Italian. And, so she likes the food and whatnot. I know all that. It's all the pieces are there, but, like, I just don't care because I kind of want something meaningful now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't think back on my last relationship with vitriol anymore like I did when the wound was fresh. The wound has completely healed, and I think back on my time with her, and I just smile and remember the feeling of what it, and just more than anything, so grateful that I've experienced that kind of true love in my life. More than anything else. Really made it set in after years of pain and regret.
Yeah.
That it really is better to have loved and lost than to never have loved at all.
Yeah, absolutely.
And, so that's why, even though I got this woman's number, and the vibes were good, I wasn't pushing, I wasn't trying too hard, I just don't care because it's a MILF, and I'm not gonna seriously date her, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's weird. I'm not gonna judge somebody else's relationship or whatever, like, age differences, whatever, as long as you're both, like, as long as both of your brains are fully developed, like, the man is over 25 and the woman is, like, older than him, or the guy's older or whatever, as long as, like, you're both not just adults, mature adults.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm not talking about, like, oh, very mature for an 18-year-old, like, no, like, not that weird shit. I'm
mentally
talking about,
and
like,
emotionally mature, like,
mentally, emotionally, and actually, like, physically older. That's different. I don't give a fuck about no age differences. This is the real world, not fucking Twitter, where, like, they're the morality police, even though they're, like, shitty-ass people. But I don't want to seriously date an older woman.
Because you can't bring her to your house. You can't introduce her to your family. Just be like, oh yeah,
bring her home.
Here's Charlene, who's 53 and has kids, and I love her. Like, you just have to explain that to your parents.
Accept that, mom and dad. Like, no, I don't want to be that guy. Because that screams that I have issues. Like, does he have mommy issues? Like, does he have, like, you know, can he just not get girls his age and shit? Like, because that's the conversation that comes with age differences, and I have recent experiences to vouch for that. I can't do that with that woman, because we're at insanely different stages of our lives. That's why the short time that I spent with was really enjoyable. It just goes to show, David, you can have young women love you.
Yeah.
You know, and older women were always easier for me to talk to because they're older, they're more mature, they know what they want, they don't play games. It's different.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
as a man with Asperger's, it's hard for me to navigate the rules and nuances of dating, which is why I get in my own head about it so much. It's so hard for a guy like me to navigate, which is why I was always drawn to older women, because they don't do that shit. Plus, I just liked older women because their bodies were more mature. I'm a huge breast man, so they usually have bigger titties and stuff like that physically as well. And I think it's completely fine when an older woman and a young man, like, fuck. I think it's better, if anything, when a young man
there's
loses
nothing
his
wrong
virginity.
with that. It's just when you decide to pursue a relationship. Exactly. That's when things get a little complicated, and
when
then
you can't tell the difference between this being just a one-time thing or like a year-long like affair or whatever. It's different.
And I'm not even saying either that, like, even the vice versa either. Like, it's not doable, I guess, but it's just kind of like, you know, it's just know that it's way more complicated going into it, and, like, if you are being serious, and if, God forbid, you guys even decide to want to have kids too in that setting, like, you guys have kids, sure, right? Or, like, let's say
Good
you have
luck
to
fixing
explain
that old
why
Michelin oven.
Yeah, and it's like, why does dad look so much younger than you, mom? Like, or, like, just vice versa. Yeah. And I mean, like, because, you know, the kids are just gonna be, like, wondering, like, why does dad look like the babysitter who babysits me?
Oftentimes,
or, like,
I feel
why is he, like, the same age as, like, let's say the babysitter?
It's different. Like, Jeff Dunham's wife is, like, 18 years younger than him.
How old is Jeff Dunham?
He's, like, 60.
Fuck.
Or now he's 60, but they married, like, way earlier. Like, his wife was, like, 42, and, like, he was, like, bordering 60, and he, like, married that woman, and everyone was like, bro, goddamn.
Yeah.
Like, good for you. And they had 2 kids. They were twins, but, like, they were 2 kids. And if anything, good for them. It's like, no one cares. Like, that's what I'm talking about. That's, like, that age where it's like, all right, there you go. You're both well mature adults at this point.
Yeah.
Do your thing. You know what I mean? Like, it would have been cringe to be like, because he makes fun of it all the time as well. It's just like, good God, when you were in college, she didn't fucking exist. Holy shit. Like, when you think of it that way, it's like, yeah, it's gross, but whatever. And this is what I'm talking about when it comes to dating them. I can't have that loving relationship with them in the same way. We learn from each other. I lost my virginity to an older woman.
Mm-hmm.
She was 30 years older than me. I have zero regrets about that.
Mm-hmm.
Not only because she was fucking retardedly sexy in, like, every possible way, but also because, you know, she was patient with me. She was kind with me. I didn't know what the fuck I was doing.
Very motherly.
I was not Mike Wazowski. I did not. I mean, I was when I, you know, was able to, you know, get with her, like, you know, just to convince her, like, hey, we should fuck, and then we did. And, but I was not Mike Wazowski the first time. Holy shit, the first time is terrible. Young men do not know what the fuck they're doing. If I was with, like, a young woman, or, like, sort of like a not nice young woman, like one who expects, like, a lot from, like, the guy the first time, like, she would have made fun of me. And the woman even mentioned it to me, too. She's like, I'm glad I was your first. Like, that I was able to just, like, be patient and kind with you and just literally teach me how to fuck, basically. So that's why I think that's okay when young men and older women hook up in that way. When you usually have, like, some weird mommy issue or whatever, if you feel like you need to keep dating this woman, like, I love you, marry me. Like, no, when I was with this woman and, like, the long time we were having sex, I felt bad. I'm like, the more I fuck you, like, as hot as you are, the more it's taking me away from having an actual healthy relationship with a woman my age. Because, like, I just have, like, access to you.
Yeah.
And so that's why it's a time for it to start and a time for it to end. And then I wound up dating a woman way old, still older than me, but not by nearly as much. It was only 10-year age difference, which is still a lot, but, you know, and it was the most meaningful relationship I've ever had.
It's easier to explain to your parents than, like,
exactly,
you know, 20 years.
And they didn't approve at first either. But then they just saw how happy she made me, and that was how it went. And it was the most meaningful relationship of my life. So that is why, Dennis, to answer your question from earlier, from a couple days ago, that's why I kind of don't want to call this woman. It's like I've been there, done that for me, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to have a serious relationship with her. Neither of us want that, I would imagine. Yeah. And it's just, I'm ready to have that kind of loving relationship with someone my age, and I'm ready to prove to myself I can connect with somebody on that level. Because I used to tell myself I literally just can't. I'm just a guy that's meant to be with older women because they're easier for me to talk to. And that's not fair to the young women. Because now I'm depriving them of David. And
well,
like that, and they're depriving themselves of me. I mean, I'm depriving myself of them, is what I meant to say.
I mean, as far as also the age, like whether they be like just a couple years older than you, or even let's say a bit younger than you, or the same age, like I think within limits, it's like, you know, as long as you guys like love each other, it's like there's really not much else to say at that point. Like I feel as if even, you know, the way I even said it about like, oh, if like there is like that 20-year age gap, gets a little complicated. I mean, you know, like, again, I'm no judge of anybody. I mean, I think it's just like when you're crossing that, I feel as if the very extreme for me is like 20 years. And it's like past that, it's just kind of like, ew.
I think 10 years is really the limit, because even like 10-year relationships, as good as they may be, chances are if like an older person is like seriously dating someone that much younger, and this is not always the case. No judgments, but from the relationships I've seen and the relationship I've been in, chances are they're doing that for a reason. Like they have their own issues that they didn't solve in their youth, or they were deprived of something when they were your age and shit like that they never got to relive and stuff like that. And if it works, it works, and just go through all the bullshit, don't care what anybody says, that's great. But this situation just feels like a been there, done that for me, because I know all I want from this woman is sex. And she
probably the same with her.
Nah, she doesn't. We talked about that a little bit. She doesn't want to like just be like. She says like that's like the last thing. You got to like at least like take them out to dinner first.
She
you know what
says
I mean?
that, but the end game is just gonna be sex. It's gonna be nothing else past that. I mean, like I guess maybe
as it should be, frankly. Because
I mean, that's what I'm saying too. Because it's like after the dinner, right? Okay, of course you guys are gonna talk, and maybe you guys will learn something about each other. Like obviously on a very like kind of personal level, but it's like I'm not gonna like take you out to the park, or like, you know, we're gonna have a picnic or some shit, or like, you know, pick out flowers or whatever, like, you know, take or go see each other's parents. Like it's never gonna happen.
No,
like
it's not like the appropriateness goes beyond that. Having sex is one thing, like a hookup or whatever, but the appropriateness does not go past that. You know what I mean? Like I'm not gonna take a woman like that home to my mom. It's not.
Your mom would kill her on sight, honestly.
Yeah. It's just not like it shouldn't be anything more than that. You know, like it's healthy for older women to teach young men things, I feel, within certain limits, I suppose, but it just feels like by doing this, Dennis, I'm not giving myself a chance. if that makes any sense. I'm not giving myself a chance with somebody younger. Or perhaps I'm just overthinking it and I should just live in the moment for now and just see where this goes and just take it as an experience for what it is. But part of me just judges myself for it because I feel like I've changed so much in the last couple of years. I've been practicing so much gratitude. Like, I've been doing voice work. Like, actually, like, I've had my first paid gig this last, like, weekend and shit. And it's just helped me practice so much gratitude and help me see things so much clearly because it just makes me think, yeah, you are the only thing holding yourself back. You're doing what you're meant to do. And, like, you feel it in your heart of hearts. And it's just helped me, like, see the world in such a different light that I thought I was never going to see again this last couple of weeks or so. And it just feels like if I go back to just sleeping with older women, it's like...
Are you really moving forward? Yeah.
Yeah. Like, it's like, am I giving up on that? You know what I mean? Just because... And now it feels like I'm doing what's easier to me. Which is why, like, you know, the short time I spent with I was very grateful for.
Because at least, you know, you learned a bit about yourself. Or at least, like, you realized a couple new things.
And I was just literally shown, like, hey, you can be a normal person and be with a girl your own age. And there's no amount of Aspergery brain is gonna stop that from happening, buddy. What a way to end a podcast. I hope you all enjoyed listening to David's therapy session. I hope you guys got something out of it as much as I got from explaining it to Dennis here and putting myself into words like that.
Into the chair. Or, like, into the... I don't know, do they still do the whole, like, patient on the couch and... Like,
yeah. Okay. Not always in the traditional way. Like, they don't look like that because those offices are just less homey looking. Yeah. It makes you feel like there's something wrong with me, like when you're in one of those offices. My therapist's office, when I was privileged enough to see my therapist, he just had a normal-ass couch and, like, an office. And you could sit on it, or you could lie on it, or do whatever you want on it. It was like, yeah, it was just, like, normal. Some therapists just run their shit out of their house.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah. Which you gotta get some weird, you know, federal licenses to do that kind of shit, but whatever, I don't know nothing about that. We're rambling on. I hope you guys were able to take something from my story and apply it to yours, mine and Dennis's stories, and apply it to your life, and just know that you're worth it. Just, you can beat the old stuff and move on to the new stuff and not feel bad about it. And trust me, I never thought I was going to gain this kind of clarity in life again. I'm unemployed. I don't have a girl. I don't have a girl. I'm unemployed. I live with my folks, and I'm currently, I think, happier than I have been in, God, I don't even know how long.
Just something that Bill
and it's just because I'm doing what I love. You know what I mean?
Something even Bill said, I remember, is that, like, there's nothing wrong with being single. And just also think, like, the person you're with, God forbid, like, you know, it could be terrible. And, like, there's also nothing wrong with being single. And you should enjoy that time because when you find the right person, it's just going to get better. That's not from Bill. That's just coming from me. Like, you know, like
Michael Scott quoting Wayne Gretzky. Basically.
Sure. But, yeah, guys, here's our plugs.
Wait, and one more thing Bill said before we wrap up here. They really need to shut down the internet. We are clearly too stupid to all be sharing ideas in this giant towny bar that we've created. Bill Burr, ladies and gentlemen.
Fucking love our boy Bill. Our man Bill Burr.
Yep. Join us next week on the Double D Experience. Wow, this was definitely a sometimes serious moment, wasn't it?
A little bit.
Sometimes funny, sometimes serious. Definitely still off the cuff, though. Yeah.
That is
Tune in next week. Well, yeah, for sure.
For sure, yeah. For sure, bud.
Oh, yeah. Eat the tasty. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Eat the tasty fish, for sure. Shouts to PewDiePie. Just had a kid himself, actually.
That is true. And he's going to be off the internet for a while.
Good for him.
Yeah. I mean, the guy's like the king of the internet at one point. It's like, it's fine. Yep. Man could retire.
He did not have a podcast called The Double D Experience like everybody else did, though.
He's honestly way more talented than us to have a podcast. You don't need a podcast.
It's his neck. He's gonna start one. You know for a fucking fact he is. You know he is.
Maybe.
We're rambling. Sorry. At DoubleDPod on Twitter. Not on Threads. Not yet. Well, I guess more on that next week.
One day soon. Maybe. I don't know.
Next week. Or maybe a Saturday bonus. No, we're not. No, I'm not going to make Dennis sit here for another hour.
We shall see.
And the Double D Experience 21 on Instagram. We're available wherever you get your podcasts, I think. Yeah. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. Leave us reviews, please, on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. That helps a lot with our SEO. We were talking about that, actually. That helps us break through the mold. And now you guys know we have to. With all the other Double Ds that are out there. All the other Double D podcasts.
We gotta start competing with them. Like,
and most of them are not even active podcasts.
Oh, yeah.
You want us to lose to active podcasts? It's an inactive podcast?
Inactive podcast, yeah.
Although some of them were. Some of them were. You know what we should do?
What?
We should hit them up. And like just be like, you want to come on our show as like a guest? And be like, hey, it's the other Double Ds.
It's like, they're like us, but also not us.
Oh, God. Yeah, we're also on youtube.com/Nintoonist. Like, comment, subscribe for the occasional video essays and the weekly content and the Double D experience that you guys get from this channel, maintaining our sub count. Appreciate it. We love y'all. Mwah. Giving you kisses, unless you're a much, much older woman, because I'm trying to move away from that. So just ignore that kiss if you're an older lady listening to this. Unless it's, like, purely sexual, in which case, let's hook up. But, like, you know, we're not right for each other, and you know it. Don't fight the vibes. Mike Wazowski.
Bye, guys.